Alright, so earlier this month I released a video detailing 12 retro games that I have never played that I'm going to give a shot to for the first time this year. Today we're talking about our first one, and that game is Diddy Kong Racing, and I have opinions about this game. So, now I'll be honest with you, the first time I played this is not technically the first time I've played it. I did play it when I was younger, but when I played it when I was younger, it just didn't click for me. I was a Mario Kart fan, and Diddy Kong Racing just didn't do anything for me. I just did not enjoy it, and I went into this with an open mind. I did not go into this game thinking I was going to dislike it. Quite the contrary, I expected to actually really enjoy it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I did for a good little while. When I first played it, when I first booted it up, you're gonna see I'm only in the first area here. When I first booted it up and started playing it, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the controls were fantastic, the characters were great, the course designs were simple, but they were fun to play. And the look of the game, despite the fact that it's an N64 title, is actually pretty solid, and you can't go wrong with the music in a Rare game. The sound in the game is spectacular. Now, the things I really like about it, I'm going to talk about the things that I don't like later on, but the things I really like about it, the smartest thing about this game is the fact that it kind of holds your hand as you start up. It doesn't just throw you to the wolves, but it doesn't do that by just putting you in a really simple race. No, it gives you a course that has some curves and some turns and things like that, and some alternate paths, but it starts you off with like basic weapons, very simple stuff. And like the first race, you're only getting rockets, you're only getting boosts. In the second race, it's going to toss in the oil slick, and then it's going to keep adding stuff on as you go, which I think is a really clever way to kind of handhold your player to get them used to the game. And I really like the idea behind some of the kind of key aesthetics to the title. Like, I love that each level has a boss fight. I love that you have to have a boss race against somebody to actually clear out a level, and then once you beat them, that's just phase one. You have to go back to all the courses again and do the silver coin challenges, which I'm having a lot of fun with. And I think it's a very clever game. I really do, but there's a bunch of other stuff I really like about it as well. Like, I love that it alternates the different vehicles that you're going to use. It doesn't just stick you in a cart. You're able to fly, you're able to use a hovercraft. I think that's incredibly clever. I love that there's a hub world. It just doesn't drop you into a race. You can actually choose and kind of pick which way you want to go. Now, you are kind of forced into which direction you're going to go based on how many balloons you have, but at least the illusion of being able to choose is there, and I admire Rare for putting that in there. It feels a little bit like, what if they took one of their 3D platformers like Banjo-Kazooie or Conker's Bad Fur Day, and they put a racing game on top of it by having those hubs in there to choose which levels you want to go to. I thought that was really clever. I like the idea of being able to collect the balloons and being able to use those balloons to unlock other levels. I really like a lot of the way Rare did this. Now, the things I don't like are, I think it's really easy. And I know that kind of puts me in the minority, but when I was playing it, I didn't really have a hard time figuring out the strategies for each level. I didn't have a hard time figuring out where I needed to go, what I needed to do, how I was supposed to beat someone. If I lost a race, like I did the boss challenge in the first level, and I lost the first time I went in. I was like, oh, he gets a boost right off the bat. That really sucks, but if I can maintain the inner line, now maybe this comes from me having a lot of experience with racing games, like doing a lot of NASCAR work when I worked on those games, but if I keep the inner line, I'm going to cut down a little bit on the angle and catch up a little bit, and then I'm going to be able to hit him with a rocket, and I hit him once, and that was the end of it. Then it was smooth sailing from there. And, I mean, maybe that's just the way the game is supposed to be, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, to me, it was kind of simplistic. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially early on. Now, I've been talking exclusively about the first level, and there's a reason for that. I will get to that, I assure you, but it's just something to me where playing it, like, I went through a level once and I was just like, oh, okay, I don't ever really feel the need to play that again. And even the silver coin challenges on that first level, and I'm sure they get more difficult as the further you go, but the silver coin levels on that first world, on that first dinosaur hub, they were simple, they were easy. But it didn't bug me so much as it was just kind of like, oh, that's slightly disappointing. And it was something where I was really looking forward to keeping that going forward and completing those silver coin challenges for the Dinosaur Peak and then going on to the Snow Mountain. And I was all excited about it because I was able to talk to the genie elephant dude in the middle of the hub world and get changed into my plane. I was able to fly up there originally, and I thought that was great. This is fantastic. But I popped back down and I went into my plane, and I decided to just go and finish up some of the Dinosaur Peak stuff. And then when I realized that I now had enough balloons to be able to go and actually do the courses on the Snow Mountain, I decided to hop into the airplane and couldn't fly anymore. I couldn't accelerate. And this was present on the hub world, which was really concerning. And I know it wasn't an issue with the controller because I could drive forward with the cart without a problem. And I figured, okay, well, it's just a thing. I'll just reset. It's not a big deal. So I reset, and I went into a race in the cart, and everything worked fine, and I was able to drive without an issue, and everything was perfect. And then hopped back out to the hub world, and I was like, all right, I'm going to hop into the plane now, and we're going to go to the snow mountain. And again, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I was just completely stuck there. I could drive in reverse without a problem, but acceleration didn't happen. All right, what the hell? We'll reset one more time. We'll try it again, because the QA tester in me is coming out. We're going to try it one more time, see what happens. I tried it again. It's like, this time we're going to put a variable in there. I'm going to try the hovercraft and see what happens. And I tried the hovercraft. Couldn't accelerate. Couldn't go anywhere. Surely this was a hub world thing, though. This was just a thing that happened in the hub. So, fine. We'll go back through. Let's just go back to the silver coin challenges. Let's try to do that. Get to the volcano level in the Dinosaur Peak world, and it's an airplane race. And it starts up, and I don't move. I'm stuck. So I don't know what's happened. I did a quick Google search to see if I could find anything, and it just... No one is really saying anything about an acceleration issue to that degree. There's glitches there where you're able to kind of cheat in some of the boss races against Bluey the Walrus later on, and that's great if you pause before you start. You can actually get a fair jump there, but nothing about the plane or the hovercraft not moving and then just being completely locked out. And I'm concerned that I've done something to my save file, and granted I'm not that far in, but I've done something to my save file where I'm not going to be able to proceed, and I'm going to have to completely start over, and that's... Well, not debilitating. It's certainly not an issue where I look at it and I go, oh man, I was right at the end of the game. I'm never going to be able to complete it. I was right at the start. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. I can't go any further, and that's not a great first impression. And I wish it was a more positive experience. I wish it was something that the good times I had racing and the overall just like brilliant design work of the game that is inherent in just what Rare did on the N64 and what was done with this game is something that because of this bug was just completely taken away from me, and I'm just like, why do I even want to bother? But I know how popular Diddy Kong Racing is, and I know how popular of a game this is, and I am going to give it another shot, but it's just such a frustration when you're all jazzed to get into a game and something that you've never played really before, and you want to spend some time with it, and you want to spend some sincere investment with it, and actually enjoy yourself, and the wind is just completely taken out of your sails and you can't do anything. And it's a frustration. I know I'm going to have to reset my save file, and that's fine. And I know this isn't the review a lot of you are hoping for, and I will tell you right now that with this game, I will come back to this one later in the year. There will be an addendum, I guess, an addendum review to Diddy Kong Racing down the road. But just this first impression, this first run out the gate, just not a great experience. Not a great impression of having such a show-stopping, game-breaking bug stop me from being able to play it. That was awful. Now, I did play on my N64, and I did use my Retro Fighters Brawler 64 controller. Works fantastic for this. This feels like I'm playing like a Need for Speed on my Xbox 360 or something like that. The controller is that good. I strongly suggest if you are playing Diddy Kong Racing or Mario Kart 64, and you have a Brawler 64, that is the way it should be played, because it is picture perfect. Let me know in the comments down below what your experiences are with Diddy Kong Racing. I would love to hear from you. Next month, we are looking at Fighting Vipers on the Sega Saturn. I'm really looking forward to spending some time with that one. Hopefully, I won't not be able to move forward. Hopefully, I don't run into any bugs like this one. That just pissed me off. God, it sucks. It really sucks. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you spending some time with me. If you want to see the 12 games I will be looking at this year, the link is on screen right now. Click that video and check it out. Why don't you hit the subscribe button while you're down there? And remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.